Chapter 4. It will be a long night. Alone in the apartment, while Mama was out shopping with Christy, Anne Marie and Ellen were sprawled out on the living room floor playing with paper dolls. They had cut out dolls from Mama's magazines, old ones that had saved from the past years. The paper ladies had old fashioned hairstyles and clothes, and the girls had given them names from Mama's very favorite book. Mama had told Anne Marie and Ellen the entire story of Gone with the Wind, and the girls thought it was so much more interesting and romantic than the king and queen tales that Christy loved. Come, Melanie, Emery said, walking her doll across the edge of the rug. Let's dress for the ball. All right, Scarlet, I'm coming, Ellen replied in a sophisticated voice. She was a talented performer. She often played the leading roles in our school dramatics. Games and imagination were always fun when Ellen played. The door opened and Christy stomped in, her face tear-stained and glowering. Mamma followed her with an exasperated look. She put her package down on the table. I won't, Christy sputtered. I won't ever, ever, ever wear them. Not if you chain me in a prison and beat me with sticks. Anne-Marie giggled and looked questioningly at her mamma. Mrs. Johansson sighed. I bought Christy some new shoes, she explained. She's outgrown her old ones. Goodness, Christy, Ellen said. I wish my mother would get me some new shoes. I love new things, and it's so hard to find them in stores. Not if you go to a fish store, Christy bellowed. But most mothers wouldn't make their daughters wear ugly fish shoes. Kristen, Mother said soothingly, you know it wasn't a fish store, and we were lucky to find shoes at all. Christy sniffed. Show them, she commanded. Amory and Helen, how ugly they are. Mama opened the package and took out a pair of little girl's shoes, and she held them up, and Christy looked away in disgust. You know there's no leather anymore, explained, but they found a way to make shoes from fish skin. I don't think they're too ugly. Amory and Ellen looked at the fish skin shoes. Amory took one in her hand and examined it. It was odd looking. The fish scales were visible, but it was a shoe, and her sister needed shoes. It's not so bad, Christy, she said, lying a little. Ellen turned the other one over in her hand. You know, she said, it's only the color that's ugly. Green! Christy wailed. I will never, ever, ever wear green shoes. In our apartment, Ellen told her, my father has a jar of black ink. Would you like those shoes better if they were black? Christy frowned. Maybe I would, she said finally. Well then, Ellen told her, tonight, if your mamma doesn't mind, I'll take the shoes home and ask my father to make them black for you with his ink. Mamma laughed. Oh, I think that would be a fine improvement. What do you think, Christy? Christy pondered. Could he make them shiny? She asked. I want them shiny. Ellen nodded. I think he could. I think they'll be quite pretty, black and shiny. Christy nodded. All right, then, she said. But you mustn't tell anybody that they're fish. I don't want anyone to know. She took her new shoes, holding them disdainfully, and put them on the chair. Then she looked with interest on the paper dolls. Can I play too? Christy asked. Can I have a doll? She squatted beside Amory and Ellen on the floor. Sometimes Anne-Marie thought Christy was such a pest, always butting in. The apartment was small. There was no other place for Christy to play. If they told her to go away, Mama would scold. Here, Anne-Marie said. She handed her sister a cut-out little doll. We're playing Gone with the Wind. Melanie and Scarlet are going to the ball. You can be Bonnie. She's Scarlet's daughter. Christy danced her doll up and down happily. I'm going to the ball, she announced in a high-pitched pretend voice. Ellen giggled. A little girl wouldn't go to the ball. Let's make them go someplace else. Let's make them go to Trivoli. Trivoli! Amory began to laugh. That's in Copenhagen. Gone with the Wind is in America. Trivoli, 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 little Christy sang, twirling her doll around in a circle. It doesn't matter, 'cause it's only a game anyway, Ellen pointed out. Trivoli can be over there, by that chair. Come, Scarlet, she said, using her doll voice. We shall go to Tivoli and dance and watch the fireworks, and maybe there'll be some handsome men there. Bring your silly little daughter, Bonnie, and she can ride on the carousel. Amory grinned and walked with Scarlett towards the chair, and Ellen had designated Tivoli. She loved Tivoli Gardens in the heart of Copenhagen. Her parents had taken there often when she was a little girl. She remembered the music and the brightly colored lights and the carousel and the ice cream and especially the magnificent fireworks every evening. The huge colored splashes, bursts of light in the evening sky. I remember the fireworks best of all, she commented to Ellen. Me too, Christy said. I remember the fireworks. Silly, Amory scoffed. You never saw the fireworks. Tivoli Gardens was closed now. The German occupation forces had burned part of it, perhaps a way of punishing us fun-loving Danes for our light-hearted pleasures. Christy drew herself up, with small shoulders stiff. I did too, she said belligerently. It was my birthday. I woke up in the night and I could hear the booms, and there were lights in the sky, and Mamma said it was fireworks for my birthday. Then Anne Marie remembered. Christie's birthday was late in August, and that night, only a month before, she too had been awakened and frightened by the sound of explosions. Christie was right. The sky in the southeast had been ablaze, and Mamma had comforted her by calling them a birthday celebration. Imagine such fireworks for a little girl of 5 years old, Mamma had said, sitting on the bed, holding the dark curtain aside to look through the window at the lighted sky. The next evening's paper had told the sad truth. The Danes had destroyed their own naval fleet, blowing up all the vessels one by one as the Germans approached to take over the ships for their own use. How sad the king must be, Anne Marie said, heard Mamma say to Papa when they read the news. How proud, Dad had replied. It made Anne Marie feel sad and proud, too. To picture the tall, aging king, perhaps in tears in his eyes as he looked at the remains of his small navy, now lay submerged and broken in the harbor. I don't want to play any more, Ellen, she said suddenly, and put her paper down on the table. I have to go home anyways, Ellen said. I have to help Mamma with the house cleaning. Thursday is our New Year. Did you know that? Why is it yours? Asked Christy. Isn't our New Year too? No, it's the Jewish New Year. It's just for us. But if you want, Christy can come. You can come at night and watch Mama light the candles. Amory and Christy had often been invited to watch the Rosens light the Sabbath candles on Friday evenings. She covered her head with a cloth and said a special prayer in Hebrew as she did so. Amory always stood very quietly, awed to watch. Even Christy, usually such a chatterbox, was always still at that time. They didn't understand the words or the meaning, but they could feel what a special time it was for the Rosen. Yes, Christy agreed happily. I'll come watch your Mama light the candles, and I'll wear my new black shoes. But this time was to be different. Leaving for school on Thursday with her sister, Anne Marie saw the Rosens walking to the synagogue early in the morning, dressed in their best clothes. She waved to Ellen, who waved happily back. Lucky Ellen, Anne Marie said to Christy. She doesn't have to go to school today. But she probably has to sit very, very still like we do in church, Christy pointed out, and that's no fun. That afternoon, Mrs. Rosen knocked on the door. She didn't even come inside. Instead, she spoke for a long time in a hurried, tense voice to Anne Marie's mother in the hall. When Mamma returned, her face was worried, but her voice was cheerful. Girls, she said, we have a nice surprise. Tonight, Ellen will be coming over to stay the night overnight and to be our guest for a few days. Isn't that? It's not that often we have a visitor. Christy clapped her hands in delight. But, Mamma, Anne Marie said in dismay, it's their New Year. They're going to have a celebration at home. Ellen told me her mom even managed to get a chicken someplace, and that she was going to roast it. Their first roast chicken in a year or more. Well, their plans have changed, Mamma said briskly. Mr. and Mrs. Rosen have been called away to visit some relatives, so Ellen will stay with us. Now let's get busy. Put your clean sheets on your bed, Christy. You may sleep with Mamma and Papa tonight, and we'll let the big girls giggle together by themselves. Christy pouted, and it was clear that she was about to argue. Mamma will tell you a special story tonight, her mother said. One just for you. About a king? Christy asked dubiously. About a king if you wish, Mamma replied. All right then, but there must be a queen too, Christy said. Though Mrs. Rosen had sent her chicken to the Johansons, and Mamma had made a lovely dinner, large enough for second helpings all around, It wasn't not an evening of laughter or talk. Ellen was silent. At dinner she looked frightened. Mama and Papa tried to speak of cheerful things, but it was clear that they were worried. And it made Anne Marie worry too. Only Christy was unaware of the quiet tension in the room. Swinging her feet in the newly blackened shiny shoes, she chattered and giggled during dinner. Early bedtime tonight, little one, Mama announced. After the dishes were washed, we need to get extra time for that long story I promised about the king and the queen. She disappeared with Christy into the bedroom. What's happening? Anne Marie asked, when Ellen and her were alone with Papa in the living room. Something's wrong. What is it? Papa's face was troubled. Oh, I wish I could protect you children from this knowledge, he said quietly. Ellen, you already know. Now we must tell Anne Marie. He turned to her and stroked her hair with his gentle hand. This morning, at the synagogue, the rabbi told the congregation that the Nazis have taken the synagogue list of all the Jews, where they live, what their names are, and of course the Rosens were on that list, along with many others. Why? Why did they want those names? They plan to arrest all the Danish Jews. They plan to take them away. And we have been told that they may come tonight. I don't understand. Take them where? Her father shook his head. We don't know where, and we don't know why. They call it relocation. We don't even know what it means. We only know that it is wrong and it is dangerous, and we must help. Anne Marie was stunned. She looked at Ellen, and she saw her best friend was crying silently. Where are Ellen's parents? We must help them too. We couldn't take all of them. The Germans came to search our apartment. It would be clear that the Rosens were here. One person we can hide, not three. So Peter has helped Ellen's parents go elsewhere. We don't even know where they are. Ellen doesn't know either, but they are safe. Ellen sobbed aloud and put her hands in her face in her hands. Papa put his arms around her. They're safe, Ellen. I promise you that. You will see them again quite soon. Can you try to believe my promise? Ellen hesitated, nodded, and wiped her eyes with her hand. But Papa, Anne Marie said, looking around the small apartment, with a few pieces of furniture, the fat stuffed sofa, the table and chairs, and a small bookcase against the wall. You said we would hide her. How can we do that? Where's she going to hide? Papa smiled. Well, that part's easy. It'll be as your mamma said. You two girls will sleep together in your bed, and you may giggle and talk and tell secrets to each other as if, and if anyone comes, Ellen interrupted. Who might come? Will it be the soldiers? Like the one on the corners? Anne Marie remembered how terrified Ellen had looked the day the soldier had questioned them about on the corner. I really don't think anyone will, but it never hurts to be prepared. If anyone should come, even the soldiers, you two will be sisters. You are together so much it will be easy for you to pretend that you are sisters. He rose and walked to the window and pulled the lace curtain outside and looked down into the street. Outside it was beginning to grow dark. Soon they would have to draw the blackout curtains. All the Danes had to have had on their window. The entire city had to be completely darkened at night. In a nearby tree, a bird was singing. Otherwise, it was quiet. It was the last night of September. Go now. Get on your nightgowns. It will be a long night. Anne Marie and Ellen got to their feet. Papa suddenly crossed the room, put his arms around them both. He kissed the top of each head, Anne Marie's blonde one, and reached to his shoulder, and Ellen's dark hair, thick curls always into pigtails. Don't be frightened, he said to them softly. Once I had 3 daughters. Tonight I am proud to have 3 daughters again.